Hey guys, Vol for Life here. Thanks to everyone who's liked and subscribed and provided comments on the channel. This stuff is for you guys, for the community. Hope it's helpful. Hope it's helping you do better in the game. I've gotten several requests to look at LVL play, and so that's what I want to do this morning, is go through what I do for level play and how I think you need to be successful right now in LVL. Number one thing that you want to do first of all is make sure you change your coach or your captain to West Coast. That's not my preferred scheme, but in LVL, that is the scheme you want to use. I also use Coach Mike McCarthy because that opens up the quick slants play, which everybody obviously has been spamming in OD, but that play can be useful to have in your arsenal if you need a bailout, for example. So let's jump into LVL play. I'm going to pick the highest defense that's left. It's a we'll see what the highest is. So we've got a 75 there. So we'll jump in, we'll play the 75 defense. And what I'm going to show you is how to be successful in LVL play right now. The current version of the game really is run heavy, and so that's where we'll focus. So let's take our kickoff. I want to show you a couple things there as well. You see this situation here where it looks like I'm kind of inside the end zone, but maybe not. There is a little bit of a glitch in the game right now where if you take that fair catch there, you'll probably end up taking it from your own one rather than getting a touchback. So the best thing to do there is just to get it out of the end zone, get as much yardage as you can. Again, we're going to focus on runs. I'm going to show you the West Coast playbook. And again, I'll show you why we want to use the West Coast playbook. Halfback misdirection is a great play. We run it outside the tackle. Usually can get some pretty good yardage. We got tackled there, but just shows what you can do. If you get a good block there on the outside, that play is gone. Another really nice one is halfback cutback. Again, I still like to run to the left, just have it in Madden. This one we can also get outside. So when we snap the ball, we're going to look and see where the blockers go. Make sure they pick up the blocks, and if they do, then we just take off. And you'll want to use the gator walk a lot in this game. A lot of hard cuts to throw off the defenders, and that'll help you get extra yardage. Another great play, there are actually, for Mike McCarthy, is the halfback plunge play. This can be taken straight up the gut or can be taken to the left or right. So when we snap the ball, you'll see where the blockers go. We can either take that straight up, and in that case I should have gone straight up and followed that blocker and probably would have taken it to the house for a touchdown. But I do want to show you a bailout here. So this is one of the halfback dive options. It's a single back formation, which is in the West Coast playbook. We actually have two halfback dive formations, so I'll show you the other one. That's the single back. Then we have a power or an I formation halfback dive. Which is usually money for short yardage situations or if you're on the goal line, for example, and need to get in. So there we force the situation where we're at fourth down, we need a bailout, and this again is where using West Coast with McCarthy is really nice because when we open up the quick slants play, which then we can pick up one of those slants routes. One of the two wide receivers is almost always open that you can hit for an easy gain. And so now we can use halfback dive, and the halfback dive will take it straight into the end zone pretty easily in almost all short yardage situations. Now this is really why we use West Coast in LVL, is halfback toss strong. This play is almost never blocked, especially in LVL, where historically the settings have been all pro. But again, we get into the end zone very easily. Blockers are almost never put down on the ground unless you're on an all Madden setting. So again, what we want to try to do with our LVL is just be consistent. We want to score, and the biggest difference between the top leagues as this progresses, if nothing changes in the game, is going to be on 2-point conversions. CHF has said the same thing. It's a huge percentage of your points overall. I think CHF always puts it as 24% of your total points that you can get in LVL off of a single snap. So it does count. It is important. So again, we just run through that same sequence. We'll go halfback misdirection, and there we can cut inside, try to get some more yardage. And that's what you want to do, is just keep grinding the ball. Halfback counter is another really good play. Again, we get some really good blocks there. And in this particular variation of Madden, you definitely want to be able to follow the blockers. And there you see how I'm cutting left and right very sharply, making sure that those blockers pick up their defender, and that way I can get to the end zone and then use halfback toss strong and slam it straight into the end zone without any problem. Again, passing is good if you get into a situation where you need a bailout, but in the current iteration of the game, my recommendation is to keep the ball on the ground. There are still too many passing issues. Quarterback auto throwing the ball, for example, if you got your finger on the stick trying to pull back on the quarterback before the snap. So again, it's safer right now just to run the ball. So we got a shorter kickoff, should be able to get some reasonable yardage. Again, just try to get the blockers in front of the defenders, set yourself up for a little bit of a gain. Let's go halfback misdirection again. And you can see we just watch those blockers, see where they go, and then again, those hard cuts are really critical in terms of running. So let's go halfback plunge. Let's see if we can get some additional yardage there, show you how that works. So I'll try to go up the middle this time. There we see that the outside actually was blocked a little bit better. And again, just cutting inside and outside, making those defenders get twisted up. And that's going to be your key to getting big yardage in runs, especially in LVL, where you want to try to get down the field and not get in a situation where you need to have a bailout. Again, we watch those blockers there. I pushed too hard left and right on the joystick, which will cause me to get in a situation where my acceleration drops down too much. And you want to try to keep your momentum in this variation of the game, because if you don't, you're going to slow down, and it's got actually a much more realistic feel to the acceleration for the running backs. But you have to take that into account when you're running. So let's look at one of the power formations. There we can just follow those blockers again. Unlike previous versions where that really wasn't that big of a deal, we can jump outside always. In this variation where it's more like console, we want to make sure we stay behind those blockers to try to get the best yardage that we can. And again, halfback toss strong, take it into the end zone for that 2-point conversion, and that way you can guarantee the 24 for your league. Hope this helps you in LVL. Like and subscribe. See you in the next video.